Good evening, Toastmasters, guests, especially curious persons about Toastmasters, and even those that are just passing through. Welcome to How Toastmasters Have Changed My Life, or more so, the three other gentlemen that will speak to you this evening. I would first like to share this little video to get us started, to help you see, I guess, a bit of the pride that we share in Toastmasters.
At first I was afraid, I was petrified. I was so nervous for my icebreaker, I nearly died. I stood on that podium, and all that I could say was, I felt so dumb, but now just look how far I've come. Yeah, I start strong, and I'm prepared. Go on now, throw me crazy table topics. I'm not even scared, thanks to Toastmaster support. I know how to keep it short. When they turn that red light on, I know I'll get a good report, 'cause I got friends who help me succeed. Toastmasters family, they give me confidence to lead. When I was asked to take the floor and speechify, did you think I'd tremble? Did you think my mouth would get too dry? Oh no, not I. No, not I. Toastmasters pride. Toastmasters pride. Yes, they helped me find the courage that was buried deep inside. I've got lots of honest folks who will help me vet my jokes. Yeah, I've got pride. Toastmasters pride. There were times when I lost faith and I began to doubt. It seemed like there were no more topics left to talk about. All my courage disappeared, all my metaphors were weird, but I persevered. Toastmasters help me face my fears, now you see me. A DTM. I'm so distinguished I can lecture with the best of them. I got my timing to a T, and my grammarian loves me, and I can stand up self-assured and just be who I wanna be. I once was bad. I couldn't toast. I used to blink a lot. I used to stand there like a post. Wasn't I the one who had trouble saying hi? So do I tremble? Do you think I'm still so awfully shy? Oh no, not I. Toastmasters pride. I'm much stronger and I'm looking forward to my pathways ride. I can land that perfect gig. I can start to think real big, 'cause I've got pride. Toastmasters pride. The meetings rock. I see my friends. I see them growing. The inspiration never ends. And when I travel, there are meetings to attend all around the world now. And on that I can depend. It's worldwide. It's worldwide. Toastmasters pride. Toastmasters pride. Oh, as long as there's a Toastmasters, I know they're on my side. Now I sound like I make sense, and I got brand new confidence, and I've got pride. Toastmasters pride. Toastmasters pride. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are the water cooler.
Oh. Thank you. I hope that sets the stage for what you're about to witness. The song basically tells you the story of how most people got started. We tend to, as Toastmasters, encounter many people day to day, when we wear this pin, or you hear persons talk about Toastmasters, what is Toastmasters? Or what has Toastmasters done for you? Or what have you gotten out of Toastmasters? You go to meetings ever so often and talk, you know, and some people can't answer that question. So hopefully, many of you might have invited guests or persons who might have asked that question and you could have answered. And I'm hoping that some of those answers can be reached here this evening as these three distinguished gentlemen present for you. This will take the form of a panel discussion. Each distinguished gentleman would give a 5 to 7 minute presentation. Then questions after for you, the audience, and some from myself to help dig into those pressing questions that you might not want to ask because you might feel a little bit embarrassed to do so. So, without further ado, let us proceed with our first Toastmaster presenting this evening. Hailing from Jamaica, we have Vashon Burnett. He's a very vibrant and energetic member of the Dynamic Speakers Toastmasters Club in Jamaica. He is a 219 Triple Crown recipient who has recently completed the Presentation Mastery Pathway. Vashon has been a Toastmaster for over 4 years. He's a lover of service and is also the president-elect for the Kiwanis Club of Portmore in Jamaica. Professional, he is a reliability engineer at the Jamaica Public Service Company with over 4 years experience. Vashon holds a Bachelor's of Engineering in Industrial Engineering from the Caribbean Maritime University in Jamaica and 2 years certification from Siemens International in Power Systems Engineering. Vashon is passionate about helping the less fortunate, volunteering, and personal development. He loves to exercise and listen to music. Vashon is also a strong believer that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Toastmaster Vashon.
Your chest is tight. You feel like you're burning up. Your legs feel weak. You can barely stand. Suddenly you feel that urgent need to use the restroom. You whisper a prayer. Legs, please don't fail me now. You look up and you see thousands of eyes staring at you, waiting anxiously for you to begin. You take a deep breath. You stumble through your presentation. When it is finally over, you practically run to your seat, terrified of the next time you'll have to deal with your utmost fear of public speaking. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, have you ever experienced any of these feelings while presenting in front of an audience? If yes, I'm here to tell you that you're not alone. Thank God there's a solution. It is called Toastmasters, and I'm happy and grateful that it has changed my life. What I described earlier were feelings of fear and anxiety I had experienced before I became a Toastmaster. Before Toastmasters, I was what you would call an introvert. I was shy and reserved. I was that guy that had so much to say, but couldn't find the courage to say it. My fear of public speaking would get the best of me every time, and persons would take advantage of my silence. It was in 2016, while on a one-year engineering internship program at the Jamaica Public Service Company, a colleague of mine saw my struggles and invited me to a Toastmasters meeting. I fell in love immediately. And after a few more meetings, I signed up and became a member. However, my struggles didn't end there. I spent over 2 years at that Toastmasters Club without even attempting an icebreaker. My fear just wouldn't leave me alone. I couldn't do it, even though I've written this speech numerous times. At the brink of giving up, I was introduced to the Dynamic Speakers Toastmasters Club. I then transferred my membership in July 2019, and this was where my pathways and my Toastmasters journey finally began. A little over a year later, here I am, presenting in front of you all. Toastmasters has changed my life. The first way in which Toastmasters has changed my life, it has helped me to overcome that fear of public speaking. I remember immediately after completing my level 1 of the presentation master's pathway, I had to jump to level 5. I received an email from my past university inviting me to be the keynote speaker at their 2019 orientation service. I was shocked and said to myself, this must have been a mistake. Why me, oh Lord? Of all the past students, they chose me. Why? I then remember reaching out to my then VP of Education, and she said, VB, you got this. She then pointed me to the presentation mastery pathways, level 5, to a project titled Prepare to Speak Professionally. This project taught me everything I needed to know about a keynote speech. I was able to deliver an amazing and inspiring keynote speech in front of an audience with more than 500 persons, including university leadership and specially invited dignitaries. I also received a standing ovation that day. Today, my fear of public speaking is history. I'm no longer silent. In fact, I have a voice. I have found my voice. I am now a very confident speaker who is delivering speeches at various clubs and events like a toast at my best friend's wedding. I became so confident. I recently entered an evaluation contest where I finished 2nd at the club level and 3rd at the era level. I was also able to complete my first 3 levels of pathways within 6 months and was the first and only male from my club to receive the Triple Crown Award for the 2019 Toastmasters year, and also the only male to complete a pathway so far. The second way Toastmasters has changed my life is by helping me to grow within my personal and professional life. Toastmasters is not only for Toastmasters, because a Toastmaster wears many hats. I am not only a Toastmaster, but an active Kiwanian as well. Kiwanis is one of the leading voluntary organizations in the world, and our mission is to improve the world, one child, one community at a time. Toastmasters has helped me to grow within my Kiwanis club. Since starting the pathways, I've become more confident and more active within my club. I serve in the role of chairman of numerous committees. And a year later, I stand here before you as the president-elect of the Kiwanis Club of Portmore in Jamaica. And all this became possible because of Toastmasters. Toastmasters has also helped me in my job as well. Since starting my Toastmasters journey, I have grown a lot in my professional life as well. I am a reliability engineer at the Jamaica Public Service in the Generation Division. And in the Generation Division at the Jamaica Public Service Company. And as you all know, majority of engineers, we don't like to speak. But through Toastmasters, I am seen as an exception. I'm now being asked to deliver presentations on behalf of my entire Generation Division to key executives, regulatory groups, and critical stakeholders. But the most rewarding of this journey is being able to give my human resource representative a Toastmasters certification of completion for each level to put on my personal file. My performance appraisals have improved significantly since I've started Toastmasters. I have grown a lot. When I glance back to where I was a year ago and look where I am now, I am so grateful to this program, which has contributed significantly to my development in all facets of my personal and professional life. My charge to you here, fellow Toastmasters and guests, is to embrace Toastmasters and reap the benefits. A Chinese philosopher, Lao Tzu, once said, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Toastmasters and guests, there is someone in this audience this evening who is where I was 2 years ago. Please don't be afraid. Toastmasters will help you. Take that first step. Sign up for Toastmasters and reap the benefits. In the words of Ellen Blanchard, if you can get out of Toastmasters, all you can get out of Toastmasters, you will never get out of Toastmasters. Madam, Mr. Chairman.
I see quite a few cheers there. Thank you, LaShawn. Although you made a mistake there, which is apparently something that I will have to comment on, because Toastmasters have somewhat been taken over by the female species. No offense to them, it's all right. I would like to say, for the benefit of most, Toastmasters, founded back in 1922, I know some people want to correct me. It was 24 when it officially got started, but it was founded in 1922 by Ralph Smedley for men to help them develop their speaking and leadership skills. Then obviously with a few, they took a little time to formulate the structure and everything, and then officially got started in 1924. So for those who might not have known that, that's your educational point for this evening. And since then, women saw how this club could help them. And usually, as you would know, women always find the best things to develop themselves, how to take down men. And they've got involved in Toastmasters. So here, I'm urging those men out there, do not let the women take the secret and build themselves to be ahead of us. Invite men into Toastmasters for what it was started for, to develop men. Like you heard Sean just now speak about how it's done, why it's done for him. And as you come across back to Barbados from Jamaica, I would like to introduce to you our next speaker, Christopher Harris. He's currently the Vice President of Education at First Class Toastmasters in Barbados. He previously held the office of Sergeant at Arms 2019-2020, where he was responsible for planning and implementing social events for members. Christopher has recently completed the Dynamic Leadership Path, which allowed him to capture the Triple Crown Award in 2019-2020, as well as a Toastmasters of the Year Award for the same year. He's currently enrolled in a leadership development path. As a professional career level, Christopher is a dynamic and experienced corporate leader with a demonstrated history of performance in the accounting and finance industry. He has attained over 10 years of experience, having worked first with EY and then Digicel Barbados Limited. He's currently a financial analyst at Chickmount Foods Limited. As the internal audit manager of Digicel Barbados, Christopher successfully navigated this territory to a satisfactory internal audit report by skillfully implementing, prevent, and detect controls to mitigate against fraud, business, financial, and operational risks within the organization. He represented the parish of St. Michael in the annual Parish Independence Program, where he was responsible for successfully planning, executing, and marketing and promoting the parish as a tourist hub. This involved creating a cultural extravaganza and heritage walk in the Bayland area. In addition, he led a beautification project with the Bay Primary School to spruce up the surroundings around the community. As a past honorary member of the Rotaract Club of Barbados, Christopher was part of the Finance and Fundraising Committee, which raised funds to help flood victims in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the geriatric hospital through the two service products, Rota, Olympus, and Signature, respectively. I introduce to you Christopher Harris.
Mr. Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. It is a great honor to share my personal story about how Toastmasters has changed my life. The amazing aspect about Toastmasters is that the journey of self-improvement can be experienced by anyone willing to take action to the overall goal of self-actualization. The advent of technology coupled with COVID-19 has propelled all Toastmasters clubs to online spaces, and this has increased the access for all persons to connect beyond geographical limitations. Toastmasters will unequivocally improve your leadership, communication, and public speaking skills, which will ultimately make you a better version of yourself, both personally and professionally. The impact of Toastmasters on my life is incredible and very fulfilling. I have gained a plethora of new skills and competencies as a result of the Pathways program, coupled with serving as a club officer. I will articulate two areas which my personal SWOT analysis required improvement and how the Toastmasters program has allowed me to grow exponentially. These areas are leadership and public speaking. Leadership. In the book, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, John C. Maxwell stated that everything rises and falls on leadership. Toastmasters has helped me to become a better leader by improving my listening skills. I believe that we can all agree that there have been times when we have listened only to rebut, refute, or retort a point. However, learning to listen has increased my ability to create shared visions and mutually beneficial relationships. I was able to hone this skill by performing speech evaluations for our formal speeches, as well as meeting roles such as accountant and grammarian. Thus, as Sergeant at Arms, I was able to lead our membership to two exciting social events. These events were well attended, and I received great support in executing these events from my team. However, the success of these events was not due to my ability to plan and implement a strategy. It was primarily due to the fact that I learned to listen. The idea of attending our island safari was coined by TM Dario Braffett and TM Nikita Bishop, while the idea to execute an online charter party was suggested by DTM Keith Yard. Thus, by being open to suggestions from our members, I was able to craft a shared vision and build a competent team to execute our public speaking. If I can be candid, when Area Director Roger and TM Alicia reached out to me to join this event, I was completely taken back. I wanted to run like Usain Bolt in Berlin 2009. It took me almost 4 hours to convince myself to feel the fear, but do it anyway. Whenever I have to make a public presentation, my chest becomes tight, and I often become overwhelmed by negative thoughts. Has Toastmasters stopped these emotional reactions? No. However, what Toastmasters has done is providing me with the tools and skills to become a better public speaker. These new skills have increased my confidence. And when I experience fear, I overcome the negativity by focusing on my new competencies. The opportunity to learn new skills, such as constructing a speech with a clear introduction, body, and conclusion, the use of rhetorical devices while crafting a speech, the importance of eye contact, vocal variety, and body language have helped me to improve my delivery of public speeches, thus improving my self-confidence. Through Toastmasters, I have been able to select an educational program or path which has allowed me to hone these skills while receiving constructive feedback on areas I can improve, thus increasing my public speaking confidence. In conclusion, Toastmasters has provided me with a platform to improve my leadership and public speaking skills. It has also given me the opportunity to connect with like-minded individuals who are passionate about learning, individuals who are committed to self-development and excellence. I want to implore, furthermore, I beseech all guests to join our team as we all progress toward better listening, better thinking, and better speaking. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Toastmaster Christopher. What another excellent presentation from a fine, distinguished gentleman. Feel the fear, but do it anyway. A lot of us Toastmasters do this often. Though most of the time, it's mentors who may be female that push us to do most of the work we do. I know Vashon shares that, and all of the other male counterparts that are pushed to do what we think we can't do, but persons see it in us, and therefore we get it done, and then look back and say to ourselves, wow, did I just do that? I remember this story of these tourists in the middle of an alligator pond, and someone on the shore said, jump off and swim to the shore and I'll give you $20 million. There was silence all around. And then all of a sudden, this guy into the water and swam to the shore, and he got the $20. He turned to his wife at the end of it and said, you know, I wasn't going to jump, but somebody pushed me. You know what she said? It was me, honey. That just goes to show, as they always say, behind a successful man, there's always a strong woman. Nonetheless, let's move on swiftly to our next distinguished presenter. Distinguished Toastmaster Fraser has been a Toastmaster for over 10 years. He's currently a member of the One Country, One World Advanced Toastmasters Club and Cacique Toastmasters. He has served and continued to serve in many leadership roles at the club, area, division, and district levels. Driven by his passion to serve others, DTM Fraser's education achievement within the Toastmasters programs has been nothing short of excellence, as he is one step away from achieving his second DTM. He's currently blazing the trail in the Pathways program as he recently completed his third path and is on to his fourth. His passion is to use his speech coaching skills to help young people find their voice and to help them express their ideas in a flawless manner. He has pioneered Artem Forensis, Mastering the Art of Public Speaking within Guyana, a program that was designed and executed by him, where over 700 young people were trained. Recently, he has coordinated the Toastmasters International Youth Leadership Program with 15 young leaders drawn from various subgroups for the first time in Guyana. DTM Fraser acquired a Master's of Business Administration, a Bachelor of Science degree in International Relations, a Bachelor of Law, and an Advanced Diploma in Project Management. He's a Franklin Covey facilitator, Global Peace Ambassador, Scout, and Global Shaper. I introduce to you distinguished Toastmaster Fraser.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster host, for that warm introduction. Distinguished Toastmasters, Toastmaster, and guests, it's such a great pleasure being here in your company this evening. And most important, I would like to thank the organizers of such an event. 10 years ago, I walked through the door of a Toastmasters club. I was invited by my cousin, and she thought that, yes, Delon, you had really good tone and you like to argue a lot. I think Toastmasters is for you. I said, fair enough, I'm going to take the challenge. Let's see what Toastmasters can actually offer me, one who I believe at the point in time in my life that I got my speaking skills intact. Toastmasters and guests. I walked through the door and here comes the education program. The education program began, of course, with various speeches, and I said, I like this. I can see myself doing this. And then comes the table topic session. The table topic session was hosted by our then Toastmaster Ambassador, Delon Aaron, and he called me to speak. My life as a red car. My life as a red car. Here I am thinking, hey, this is a perfect opportunity to, you know what, show them what I'm made of. Let me see what Toastmasters really is all about and that they can offer me. I got up, I went to the speaking area, and I started speaking about my life as a red car. And boy, oh boy, I can tell you, when I was finished presenting, I went back to my seat with a very high level of confidence that yes, I have done it. Then comes the evaluation section of the meeting. And who is there to evaluate me? None other than distinguished Toastmaster Ewart Adams. I sat back, and while my name was called about the evaluation, I said, yes, let's hear this. I got out my pen, and trust me, Toastmasters, I was looking forward to hearing, oh, you had a really good vocal variety and you spoke well. Well, I did hear that, among others, because when I got up and went to the speaking area, I got up with a pace. And then I realized that I walked through the door of the meeting in jeans and, of course, my sneakers. And when I received my evaluation, my life, my outlook of public speaking and Toastmasters changed that very evening. Toastmasters and guests, I am pleased to share with you how Toastmasters have changed my life. I will be stressing on 3 great points that I believe is very important and crucial that I ought to share with you. First is looking at myself. Secondly, how Toastmasters allowed me to become a servant leader. And third, moving from RISE, an acronym, R-I-S-E, to Rise Up, and how Toastmasters is able to help me during this COVID pandemic to rise up. I believe that when I began this presentation, I thought to myself, how can I help others see the real importance of Toastmasters? And the first thing that came to my thought was my very first presentation at my club, Stephen Covey, the Life Circle. In the circle, the center of the circle, it's you, the individual. Toastmasters allowed me to not only have an appreciation of my speaking skills, but also moving ahead as to how I can actually hone these speaking skills in becoming an excellent speaker. I wasn't always the one who can do storytelling and, of course, humorous speeches. I can tell you, if you call me for a good debate, count me in. Toastmasters allowed me to appreciate that there are different skills and different techniques that you can develop as a speaker. It allowed me to appreciate the fact that your words, according to Lord Diplock, Master of Rules, that your words, it's the vehicle of your thoughts. If you think bad thoughts, then of course you'll speak negative words. But if you think positive thoughts, then ultimately you will speak positiveness. This is the thing that we learn through Toastmasters, how we're able to think and construct our thoughts so that we can channel and use the vehicle of our words to become an inspiration to others. I can honestly tell you that after I received my evaluation, I had a different outlook. In fact, I always thought that as a speaker, your presentation really and truly, and I'm talking here about your physical presentation, really and truly didn't matter. And so I went to the meeting with jeans and a jersey and, of course, shoes. And when I was told that when you got up to come to the speaking area, some persons were only concentrating on how fast I was moving at the point in time at the lectern in my sneakers. So that took away from the presentation because all they could have observed and all their attention was focused on my sneakers and how fast I was moving at the lectern. That opened my eyes completely because indeed, communication is not all about your spoken words. It's about also your body language, how you dress and how you present yourself before an audience. It's a great thing how something like that can cause a great disconnectivity between you, the speaker, and your audience. So Toastmasters have helped me to appreciate who I am, my strengths in speaking, and what I need to do in order to hone and develop those speaking skills. My second great area of improvement that I thank Toastmaster for every single day is a life-changing experience. And that life-changing experience opened my eye even larger. Because when I look at it, there are certain things that we do as speakers that we don't understand. And that is, we cannot divorce leadership and communication. Toastmasters program is developed to have a marriage of the two. So when I heard about a definition separate and apart for leadership and communication, I said to myself, no, something is definitely wrong here because we cannot become leaders if we don't become excellent communicators. And so I developed a little definition that I used around in my presentations. And it says that leadership is the art of using communication to influence yourself and your audience so that you both can work towards achieving a decided outcome or goal. In that definition, we see that there's a great marriage of the two. In order for you to become an excellent leader, you have to learn how to communicate. And Toastmasters have developed the platform, create the area, create the opportunity for us as individuals to hone our communication skills as well as our leadership skills. It also took me back to the time when I started learning how to appreciate those persons who actually look up to me as a leader. My proteges, these days we call them. No longer followers or no longer mentees, proteges. At the beginning of Daniel Goleman, Emotional Intelligence, it spoke about this great general who was going to deliver, of course, ration to a mosque. And it was at the time when Iraq and the US was at its great war. And so the people there around the mosque thought that the soldiers were coming to take away their leaders. And so immediately when the general saw the hostility of the people, he told his men to stop, take a knee, point your firearm or the muzzle of your firearm to the ground, look up and smile. It is in that split second that as communicators, we read the body language of others, and then we are now able to make confident decision that could avert or will avert a terrible situation. And that is exactly what happened there at the beginning of that book. The leader saw exactly what was needed to be done. And when the people saw the smiles, the communication from the army, the communication from those men in ranks, to them, they may not understand the language, but the bodily language spoke to them. It resonated with them. They understood the military men, they were able to communicate. And so as leaders, we must be able to learn how to communicate, both with language as well as gestures. And this is how important leadership is to us, because if we send the wrong signal, then of course, we will get back the wrong message. And this is what Toastmasters has taught me over the 10 years of my life. Learning how to develop and learning how to hone your leadership and your communication skills. It is not easy, I can tell you that. It is not easy. But I am sure that when you first tasted or started planting vegetation, you know the sweat that went into it. But just imagine the sweet of the fruit when that tree bore. So we must learn how these work together, and we must learn how it is important that Toastmasters has enabled me, Delon Fraser, to marry my leadership and my communication skills. In fact, I was able now to realize my true passion as a servant leader. I have used the Toastmasters platform to create the opportunity for other young people who are also struggling with learning how to speak. They have an idea, but they're nervous about speaking. And so with that, I'm able to build their confidence level in showing them, using my experience as to how to help them grow into becoming an excellent speaker and an excellent leader. My final bit of improvement that I thought that Toastmasters have helped me with is something that we have been saying every single time we come to a Toastmasters Club meeting. It's a promise, but I'm focusing primarily on the last few lines. Toastmasters has allowed us to rise. That is, with respect, integrity, service, and excellence. But it allowed me to move a bit further. It took me to up. So I am now able to rise up. And my acronym, because of Toastmasters, is I am now able to be reliable. Whenever I'm called upon to make a presentation, whenever I'm called upon to an event, you bet rest assured that I am ready to serve and that I will not disappoint. I'm able now to innovate. COVID-19 has allowed me to stay from in my living room, to be in Jamaica, to be in Barbados, to be in the US, to be in all the Caribbean countries at just one click of a button. I am able to expand my growth, expand, of course, my level of opportunities to others, because I'm able now to innovate using the technology that is available to us. I am now able to strategize, R-I-S, strategize. Toastmasters has allowed me now to plan, which is a very crucial part in doing any presentation. So when we plan it, we are now able to strategize our next move, how to get it done in the most effective manner that it ought to. And then I need to add a little spice to this. Energize. E. As Toastmasters, we're always bringing the energy. And that is what persons are looking for when it comes to being able to present and being able to communicate ideas. Remember, energy begets energy. And then utilize. I am now able to utilize my opportunities. I'm now able to utilize the technology. I'm now able to utilize every single opportunities and every single resources at my hand tip because of the rich, and I should out filthy rich resource bank of information that Toastmasters provide us with. So I'm able to tap in on that, and I'm able to utilize the information to grow myself and others. And last but not least, the P, prioritize. I am now able to prioritize, knowing exactly how to do it, when to do it, whom to do it with, and of course, just do it. So I'm happy that I am able to share with you how Toastmasters has been able to change my life forever. It has been 10 years, and I'm looking forward to even more years with the Toastmasters, with my Toastmasters family. Toastmasters, where leaders are made. Toastmaster host.
Thank you, distinguished Dylan Fraser. In true form, Dylan tends to get a bit passionate about when he's speaking and forgets the time. With 3 paths under his belt and a DTM, I would think that he's better with his time, but I figure in this next path, I would suggest that you work on your time, DTM, Dylan. But it was a great presentation. Again, rise up, he says. And Toastmasters, which I believe most of you are in here, we tend to forget who we are. We join the organization and we forget why we're here. And then even when we embrace the values of Toastmasters, we hold it captive. We're supposed to spread this information. We're supposed to help someone else rise up. Look within yourself sometimes when you see your club struggling and ask yourself, what can I do to help my club? What can I do to help someone else? When you look in your community and you see young people or other people generally struggling with certain things that you know you gain from Toastmasters, ask yourself, what can I do? Some persons might not have the time or might not like the structure of being involved in a club. There are many ways that you can help. You form a group. You encourage persons. You start a speech craft. You do a young leadership program, something. If we don't use our skills that we have gained to help someone else, we're wasting them. Because as we develop ourselves, we should take along someone with us. At this point, after hearing those exuberant presentations from those 3 distinguished men, gentlemen, this is your time to ask questions. I'm sure there are things that might be burning inside, and this is, trust me, there's no good, wrong, bad question to ask. There are 3 gentlemen here that are willing to take your questions and help you or guide you with that burning question that you may have. I'd like to ask, to start it off, I know Dylan mentioned the COVID, but I didn't hear it coming out from the other 2 speakers, so I will start the ball off by asking TM Christopher, Toastmaster Christopher, and Toastmaster Vashon. As COVID has taken hold of the world, and Toastmasters being a very in-person, and we are moving to the virtual setting. We have also that challenge, despite the innovation, we have that challenge where a lot of persons have lost their jobs. A lot of persons do not know what's happening next. Why or how would you help persons to see the value in Toastmasters, despite the pandemic that's caused so much heartache for some depressed persons just struggling with certain whatever in their world. I know everyone has their own struggle, but how do you deal with that when persons say, but I can't be bothered with Toastmasters at this time. I have to worry about COVID and having a job and stuff like that. I'll start with you, Vashon.
I know we're all going through this pandemic, the COVID-19, and it has been affecting us, affecting everyone right over the world. And in Jamaica here, it has been affecting me as well. Or mentally, it played some tricks on me as well. And how Toastmasters has helped me to overcome that mental stress is that Toastmasters kind of take my mind off of the COVID-19. I started to focus on some level of personal development. And I keep telling myself that there is life after COVID, and the way I get out of this, is not the same way I'm going to be in it. I have to do, so Toastmasters has helped me to just relax and take my mind off everything that is going on around me. And while doing that, I'm able to develop myself. And although Toastmasters is a face-to-face, is more of face-to-face, COVID-19 has brought me a lot of experience. I'm now talking to you in Barbados. I've been in Antigua, I've been in Haiti, I've been all over the world. So despite what is going on, COVID and Toastmasters, they have somewhat married together, because Toastmasters is a way to get over everything that is happening with COVID-19. I know that a lot of persons might be saying that, yes, you have time for other stuff and you have to think about COVID and think about a job. But while doing that, you need something to just take your mind off the rest of the world. Sometimes we can't get to go to the gym, we can't get to go to parties. Let's think about developing ourselves. And Toastmasters is the best way to develop yourself during this COVID. And so at the end of this pandemic, you can all get out of it on top with some level of personal development and some great communication skills. And some of the perks that I talk about, some appraisals, some good appraisals on persons and more visibility, and meet friends, meet persons from all over the world, like Toastmaster Roger, Toastmaster Christopher, and you get to meet a lot of persons in Toastmasters, and you get to take your mind completely off what is going on around you. So just give it a try, everyone. I encourage you all, give it a try, and trust me, when you're in a Toastmasters meeting, you don't think about COVID, none at all. Over to you.
Thank you, Vashon. Christopher?
Hey, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the question. I think first and foremost here at our club here in Barbados, what we actually did because of the COVID-19 pandemic is that we actually had a panel discussion which reflected things such as leadership and managing finances and the importance of mental health. And in my opinion, what I think that did for our club members and to all other persons was that it gave them the opportunity to gain new insights, to have that level of support during these challenging times. And I think that was something that was very positive from our club. And I think that's something that Toastmasters can obviously give guests and members. But besides that, I also think that our environment, the ability to connect with new persons, different industries, different geographical locations is always good. I think as humans, we are social creatures. And the more that we're able to interact with others, even though, yes, we're all facing unprecedented challenges, I think we find some level of solace, we find some level of meaning, we are able to share experiences. And I think that is definitely what Toastmasters gives you. It gives you that network of persons like-minded who you can bond with. And that, I think that helps you through all of the difficulties that we are all experiencing. Back over to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Christopher. I will just let Delon speak for 1 minute if he wants to add something to that and to the response.
Thank you again, Toastmaster host. Again, it's been a wonderful opportunity. I mean, while COVID has presented us with a lot of issues, Toastmasters allowed me to find the opportunities with these issues. And so I now have a whole host of young people home with their laptops, well, trying to get rid of them with the Netflix and all the other distractions. And then I'm now able to bring Toastmasters into their home. Imagine if they were at school without COVID, then I would not have been able to get the opportunity to allow them to see what Toastmasters is all about. So I'm thankful in so many ways. Toastmaster host.
Thank you. Thank you, DTM Dylan. That was quick. I just urge the audience as well, if you raise your hand, you'll be identified to ask a question. I don't wish to ask all the questions. And just in any case, I know I deliberately did not ask anyone to introduce me because it wasn't about me today. It was about these distinguished gentlemen and how Toastmasters have changed their lives. And not only about them, but also about you. How can it change your lives? And if you have that burning question that you wish to ask, feel free to raise your hand, type it. If you don't, because you haven't found your voices yet, you go ahead and type it in the chat. We will help you out. Someone else will read it for me, and we will surely try to answer that question. Another question for the panel. I know I touched on this purposely because wherever I travel via Zoom, I realize that Toastmasters lack something. Yes, you know what I mean. And that was one of the motivations for having this second session of how Toastmasters have changed my life. Because this is an all-male session. And I did mention it. When you go to different Toastmasters clubs, you see a lot of estrogen, a lot of females. What can we do? Or what can you do? Or what do you think others can do? Other than, I know, Sean, we had a man sing meeting in Jamaica. Other than that, I want to hear your innovation on how do these leaders, some of them that are listening or on this meeting, and those who might see it later, what can we do to attract more males, which was the purpose of why Toastmasters was formed in the first place? Who wants to go first? Dylan, you're there looking at it.
Thank you very much again, Toastmaster host. I believe in true example, setting the right example. Our male folk believe that talking, standing, and presenting is something that it's more a female thing. But to be honest, I have used presentations where I've shown so many male leaders across the world and how they have able to influence the lives of other male folk. And like I've mentioned, that men, what we can do is start showing or start expressing more how important the marriage between communication and leadership is. You cannot, as a male, want to lead if you can't communicate. How are you going to get your ideas over to those persons who are looking up to you for guidance? And so my thing is that we need to get them involved and letting them know that you can't do one and not do the other. It's a marriage and it requires both. So I believe that we all got a role to play, both male and females within the club, to show our male folk that yes, we all can do it once we put our minds to it, because there's no divorce. This is a permanent marriage ordained by God. So get with it. Toastmaster host.
Thank you, DTM Dylan. Don't both of you jump at the same time. But Sean, Christopher's hanging in.
As Toastmaster Roger mentioned, we had a all-males meeting in Jamaica some time ago during the COVID, and we invited a lot of males to come and hear what Toastmasters is about and see all the men in action. I think what we could do to gain more male Toastmasters is to show them what Toastmasters is doing for a lot of their male counterparts. Like we need to invite more male leaders into Toastmasters, meaning there should also to be a male club, because we know a lot of guys don't like to be in a space where a lot of them don't like to be in a space talking when there's a lot of females. Sometimes they're shy and they're scared. I think Toastmasters, we can start there. We can have a male meeting, male sessions where men can come in and express themselves. A lot of guys are more into the brotherhood, the brethren. So they feel more comfortable talking and expressing themselves around persons like themselves. So if we could start there and have somewhere where the men can come, because as we all know, speaking isn't really a man's thing originally. And I'm an engineer, and take it from me. As an engineer, I went through college, speaking isn't our thing. And we normally shy from it. I remember telling one of my friends in college that the reason I chose engineering is because I want to work with equipments and metals, because they don't bother me and they don't ask me to speak. So I know that a lot of us men, we try to engage in stuff that don't require us to do this type of speaking. But when we're with our friends, we talk, we yap, we chat. And I think if we could just give them that little, that little space where they could express themselves around some brethren, I think eventually we'll see more men transitioning from that club and joining other clubs where with both more co-ed clubs. So I think we just need to just, give them that space, and we have a lot more male Toastmasters. Over to you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Sean. I agree. It's a good idea. Toastmaster Christopher, you want to weigh in?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I definitely echo the same sentiments of my males here in the way how we can encourage more males to join Toastmasters. But I just want to say something here. I think motivation is intrinsic. It depends on the person, and it depends on the needs and the wants that a person may have, whether male or female. I don't think that we in Toastmasters, we can necessarily force or coerce someone to do something. I think what we can do is we can show them the benefits, the environments, and how it can add value to their lives. I definitely think from a career advancement perspective, the Pathways program is brilliant. And I think that could be marketed more than to males or to the corporate world to attract persons to the benefits that these skills can aid them in as they seek to career advance. In addition to that, the only other thing I think I would want to say here maybe then could be, if we're really looking to target males per se, I know price is something that's very sensitive, especially in the COVID environment. So maybe if we create maybe a bundle, maybe I know it's $180 every 6 months in Barbados. So maybe a reduced price, attracting males, some type of some type of change of the price where instead of 180, it maybe could be $90. All right, those type of things could attract persons also based on the reduced price. Back over to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, TM Christopher. I'll entertain, I see they have two persons have questions. I recognize Raquel Jones. I saw your hand. I'm not sure if you still want to ask a question.
I absolutely do. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chair. Good evening to all beautiful and wonderfully eloquent Toastmasters this evening. So I'm just throwing out this question to the gentlemen who are on the floor right now to ask. We're having a little bit of an issue where, as you said, people they don't want to talk. They're in the Toastmasters Club, but they just don't want to come out and talk. And this is males and females. What can I do as the VPPR to energize my club and to get more persons to actually get started on their pathways? Any ideas, any suggestions would be absolutely welcome.
Go ahead. Who's going first? Dylan, it seems that you have to lead the way all the time.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Chair. And of course, Toastmaster Raquel, thank you very much for the question. I served as a VPR once for my club, and I'm going to tell you, one of the main things about becoming the VPR is that you have to appreciate that there are persons out there who wants to do it, and at the same time, they are a bit reluctant to get it done. So my thing is, the minute a person becomes a Toastmaster, we have the mentors, we have the coaches, and more than anything else, we have opportunities. So persons who are quite reserved may not jump at it for the first time. What they may need is a little encouragement. So here's what I will do. I would have that person work along with another Toastmaster, and then I create activities that will get them all interested. So it therefore means that it's like a buddy system, a Toastmaster buddy system, where you link that person to a senior Toastmaster, and then that senior Toastmaster gets activities that is required to be done in the club whenever it is called upon. And so they have to work as a team. So two things is happening there. One, that person gets to open up to the Toastmaster that you have buddied him up with. And two, they get to share the experience. So I believe the sharing or the exchange of information and experience also helps to build character, also helps to build confidence. So in doing so, Madam VPR, you will be able to get those male folks that is in your club. And I'm thinking here that we're talking about them only and not those persons who are desirous of joining. You get them all excited and energized to become part of the club and play a more important role. When it comes to choosing and selecting parts, however, I believe that the role should be an executive and a club role holistically. Why? Because the only reason that I have been able to complete 3 parts and then going on my 4th, it's because of my proteges. I realize that my proteges are always signing on for different parts. So one of the things that I do as a way to motivate them is to select the part, work the part, and use my experience with them and encourage them as they go along. So you always get that experience, you always get that communication, and you always get that relationship going. So when they see that you can get it done, they can always rely on you for guidance. And that's a thing too that we can continue doing. So it's continuous coaching, continuous mentoring, continuous sharing of experiences. Toastmaster Chair.
Thank you, ATM DeLon. I don't know if that was such a expanded answer. I don't know if Toastmaster Vashon or Christopher has anything to add.
Mr. Chair, I didn't necessarily hear the full question, to be honest. Can you just give me a quick synopsis?
I'll go on.
All right, let Vashon go.
Okay, no problem.
So I was a part of a Toastmasters club in which for 2 years without even attempting an icebreaker. And what I found out is that the environment, you have to create an environment where all members can learn and grow. And another thing that really gets you going is to when the club executives recognize the effort of each member, in the fact that when someone presents even a table topic speech and you know that this person is not a speaker, you give them even a small token to say that because public speaking is not easy, especially persons present their icebreakers and stuff. You motivate them, you put it out there, you put it on your social media, make persons feel energized. And also you can set goals for your members. For example, the first person to reach level 3, and you have something for them to motivate them, to keep them working towards something. Some persons are motivated by the little trinkets, the little trophies, the little trips to the hotels, and it just get the momentum going, and it feels fun. It could be constructive competition in the fact that we're developing ourselves and also we're working towards stuff, and you just keep that vibe going, and persons will constantly come to meeting and they'll feel energized, and at the end of the day, persons will do their speeches. So that worked for me when I transitioned over to the Dynamic Speakers Toastmasters Club. Whatever you do, you're celebrated. How bad it is, you're celebrated, because you can only get better in Toastmasters. Over to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Vashon. DeLon, do you want to sum up the question for Christopher? typing quickly.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I'm thinking it has something to do with pathways, getting mails onto pathways based on the responses from my colleagues. Okay, great. So I can say as the Vice President of Education, First Class Toastmasters, we actually, I think it definitely was started last year, but we definitely started to encourage our VPEs to have new member orientation. And I think this is very critical, especially when persons are first introduced to a Toastmasters club. So for example, this is a real life example. We have a new member, and in my conversations with him during member orientation, I was able to learn what attracted him to our club and what were some of the deficiencies or the areas he wanted to improve in. Then I asked him basically about his ability for public speaking. He actually said out of 10, he rated himself 3 out of 10. Because then I had this information, I was then able to suggest to him that maybe presentation mastery might be a better path for him. With regards to leadership, I think he had rated himself about 7 or 8 out of 10. So I said, maybe don't let's focus maybe on leadership at this present moment. Let's focus on an area that you think you're weak in, you have a deficiency in, and let's see how this program can actually aid you. I think by doing that, I was able to allow him to see how his problem, we have a solution. And I think that creates greater buy-in. When persons feel more intimate about the path they're going, where they feel as though that they're going to get tremendous self-development and tremendous personal benefits, I think that within itself creates motivation. And as I always say, no executive is responsible for a person's development. I think, as I said, that motivation is intrinsic, it's based on an individual. But if we can show that level of leadership, if we can show that level of listening, as I always say, and trying to give a person the best solution to whatever problem it is they have, I think that gives us a greater chance of creating that level of buy-in. And one other point I will say here quickly, as I know that we're all pressed for time, will be leading by example. Now, I am someone in our club, I speak almost every single meeting. When the Toastmasters year initially started, I called each member and I asked them, where do they see themselves with regards to passing their levels? So I was able then to actually create a chart for our members and remind our members of the goals they set at the beginning of the Toastmasters year. In addition to that, as I said, I'm someone who leads by example. I will not ask our members to speak or to finish their levels if I'm someone just coming, sitting down and looking pretty. I think as executive and leaders as well, we need to show members that we are active and we are also looking to progress. I think that gives a really good example. So that's my 2 cents worth. Back over to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Excellent input from all 3 distinguished gentlemen. You hear the whole fact about leading by example, which is something I preach every day. I recognize Ruth Williams now.
Hi, everyone. I have a question actually for Toastmaster Fashan. Fashan, you mentioned that you are also active in Kiwanis. And what I have noticed is that we just touched on the issue, well, why aren't men as active in Toastmasters? And I was just wondering, because when I look at those service clubs here in Aruba, like Kiwanis, Lions, Rotary Club, many times you see a lot more men active in those clubs opposed to women. And so for me, it's not like as if men do not like to gather and take on leadership roles, but what is it about Toastmasters that, let me say, put it this way, makes them shy away from this organization? Would it be a solution for that? Would what Toastmasters International has come up with by solidifying a more joint cooperation with Rotary, would that work for Kiwanis and the other service clubs as well? What do you think about that, Fashan?
Thanks much for that question, Toastmaster Ruth. So I believe that the reason why a lot more men are in Kiwanis and Rotaract is because a lot of these clubs require more strength and more physical involvement in the fact of more volunteering, building stuff, and men don't like to speak. That's men shy away from speaking. A lot of men shy away, especially in areas where they are evaluated for speaking. A lot of us shy away from that aspect of it. And that is the reason why you see a lot more men in service organization where we can lend a hand to lift some blocks and some cements and so because we are good at some of the more practical things of life. But when it comes on to the soft sections, we normally tend to shy away from it and see how best we can get through life without even have to do a lot of this speaking. What I think would be a good solution is to, as you said, to have some partnerships. Because so and as I mentioned before, we can also have spaces where like an all-male club. I think every division should have an all-male club. As we know, a lot of men don't really, as I said, don't really like to speak in front of the females. And if we could just have a transition from there, for example, an orientation club, you just men and you get a bunch of men and you bundle them and you bring other Toastmasters, other male Toastmasters over and they mentor them and then you transition them out into the big scale where they are now mixed with other persons. Because I realized, for example, I'm in an all males Kiwanis club and men speak in Kiwanis, in that club because together we have a lot of men that speak. So men find it more easy to speak among their brothers and their friends. But when we get out to that platform to speak with mixed audience of female, we normally tend to shy away. So I said, partnership is very important. We can start small and have partnership with these service organizations. And we can also look into the fact of having some gender related clubs and see how best we can get males to buy in and transition out to serve on other leadership group, positions in other clubs. Over to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sean. Any other questions? I recognize Toastmaster Irwin.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you for granting me this opportunity to ask a question. I would like to forward a question to the two younger speakers, not taking acknowledgement of Delon. Actually, I have this colleague that works shifts. Now, the disadvantage of working shift and Toastmaster meetings is that these meetings are outside his shift. So when these meetings are held, he is at home resting because he needs to go to work at his shift. Now, what would you recommend me, and also is a young colleague, what would you recommend me to advise him, like following a Toastmaster meeting versus his work as working in shifts? What would you recommend me to advise him?
Thank you very much for that question. I have the same issue. I mentor a young engineer just cut off his engineering internship, and the job that he is doing now is a shift job, and he's also a Toastmaster, a very young Toastmaster. And I can tell you it has been a challenge for me as well. But what I do, what works and what is currently working is I try to get him to do more projects outside of his normal or meeting time, in which I help him with his projects and ask our VP Ed to schedule spaces on different Toastmasters meeting. He has meetings in places like 80 when he's he has a day off or when he finds some time. But it is not very easy to keep them motivated. A lot of times they're more focused on their job. But what we can do is that we can ensure that we pair these members with some very motivating mentors that will go out on a limb and just get them up to date with what's going on to ensure that they're doing their projects. Because what we don't want is that although they're on shift, as in a sense that my grandmother would say, if you don't use it, you will lose it. And when a young Toastmaster starts, you really want to keep them on that part for speaking, because as soon as you stop speaking, it's just like exercising. You will exercise for now for a good while, and then you take a break. When you start again, you start to feel that pain, and it starts all over again. So what we can do is that we can just try to find ways to schedule them to do speeches outside of their work time, and when they have some free time, and when they have some days off, and that works. And hopefully we can find some more amicable solution to ensure that they can speak, and they can, for example, if this club is not working for them, we know that we have a lot of Toastmasters club, and the virtual space now has made it a lot easier. So we can even ask them to transition or transfer membership to a different Toastmasters club, because it doesn't matter which Toastmasters club, we're all here for the same reason, and that is to build and develop ourselves. So if it means that this club is not working, you don't want that member to stop. Try to get them to transition into another club that is more suitable to their work time, and get them speaking, because eventually that member will also bring other members on and show how he manages a shift job and was able to complete his pathways. So that, I think, is a good solution for that member. Over to you.
Christopher?
Yes, thank you for the question. And I definitely echo many of the same sentiments as Vashon. I guess the only thing I may say differently, maybe he could actually record himself as well. And if he can circulate that video then to the VPE, it can be played up. They can evaluate him, give him all the relevant inputs to ways that he can also improve. And that can also be circulated back to him as well. So that continuous improvement process still is happening. And I think what Vashon says is very important. You have to keep practicing your art. You can't stop. But it's very commendable that someone who's working shift is very interested in Toastmasters, even though it is conflicting with their work. I would just say encourage him. We have the online platform, so maybe you can also record your meetings as well and share with him. Nothing truly beats the meetings and the table topics and the educational segment. Always very interesting. But I think definitely recording and being able then to circulate that video to him, as well as having him also circulate his videos, I think that is the best way made at this time. Back over to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Toastmaster Christopher. And great questions from the audience. I don't know if Dylan, you wish to weigh in, like I wish to weigh in. I give you the opportunity to on that question, because I think it was very interesting. Despite that, Erwin thinks that we are a little bit senior to these two youngsters.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Roger. And again, it's a really good question indeed, Toastmaster Erwin. And I believe that Toastmaster Vashon as well as Toastmaster Christopher handle it well. Because the opportunities are now available to us, where we get to visit clubs different times of the days now, different time zones, different countries. I am presenting every single week at a different club, a different part of the continent of this world. So it gives us now the opportunity for like Toastmaster Christopher mentioned, I would have also, if given the opportunity, was given the opportunity at first, I'd have said, indeed, the recordings, which is very important. Record your presentation and then allow someone to evaluate it at your club. We've done it many times. Even when clubs may have technical difficulties, what we do is ask the Toastmaster to present it and send it as a recording to the club, so it can either be viewed or played at the next meeting where the evaluator gets the opportunity to record it. So those are the options available to him. Or if his job is so flexible too, the devices where you can actually join a Toastmaster meeting on any device these days, to join in on a meeting and even present while at work. I've done it, but it depends on if his work is very flexible again. So the opportunities are there. So you get the technology, recording both ways, as well as you get the opportunity to visit different clubs at different timelines. So he doesn't lose out at all on the opportunity to present.
Thank you, Dylan. I want to add to the flexibility aspect of it. although you mentioned the work being flexible, I think as an organization, as Toastmasters, we need to be the ones that are flexible because we embrace persons and we want to help them to move to that next stage. As Dylan said, rise up. And if we as Toastmasters who have been there and understands the intricacies of Toastmasters and what it has to offer, VPEs, presidents, everyone that the officers need to understand that the member is important. I always like to stress on that. Your members are important. And if you allow this flexibility, you attract even more members because they understand that you have some sort of understanding for their commitments and their flexibility or the lack thereof of flexibility. Because a member might be destined, I want to get there, but something pops up. The person's, let's look at the emergency services. You don't always know what a day is going to hold for a person, and they plan to speak, but then something pops up, and there the speech gone, and then the opportunity is gone, and they get demotivated because you want them to turn up at club. Now with the online or the virtual setting, you can create those opportunities as most of the other distinguished men mentioned, to record, create a meeting, special meetings that occur, because it's virtual now. So, Toastmasters, officers, all persons that are in authority, create that flexibility to allow your members to develop. They join Toastmasters for a purpose. Do not take that purpose and that opportunity away from them because you are not flexible enough. I don't know, I recognize Ruth. Is your hand still up or you didn't take it down?
But I still have one question though.
Okay, go ahead quickly. I'll take this will be the last question and then I'll ask the panelists to wrap up.
This is for all three. What do you see yourself doing in the future thanks to Toastmasters? What else?
I think we should go with the oldest member first, I believe. I'm just going to speak it because he is way into the future more so than Toastmaster Mashawn and Christopher. So let's hear what DT and Dylan would say to that.
Pastor Ruth, thank you very much for that question. I can honestly tell you, 10 years and still going, it sends a message. It tells us that there's still a lot more to learn. There is still a lot more to sharpen on. And there is still a lot more for us as Toastmasters when it comes to the future. And I tell you, the future holds opportunities for more young people like ourselves to be engaged in Toastmasters. So with Toastmasters, I am going to use this platform and continue to use this platform to encourage young people to get on board. Learn what Toastmasters is all about. Learn how you can develop your leadership and communication skills. Secondly, I can also continue to use the Toastmasters program, use the Toastmasters platform to expand my family. Toastmasters is a family away from my birth family. It's every single day we're meeting Toastmasters. It's every single day there's a Toastmaster joining the family. And so this is the opportunities that we keep growing. So I see myself as continuing to expand the family of Toastmasters. And last and surely not least, continue to grow and hone my skills so that I can continue to be the servant leader that I want to be. So these are the three things that I see myself looking at in the future with Toastmasters. Aside from all the, I would normally call them spoils. Set straight goals and whatever you get along the way, like the little spoils. So the little spoils, I consider being invited to speak at conventions, being invited to speak at clubs, to share your viewpoint on certain issues. Those are the spoils that Toastmasters has given me the opportunity to do. And every now and then, you get the opportunity to meet someone influential and create that network where you can share your Toastmasters experience, the influence to inspire and motivate others. Again, Toastmasters, where leaders are made.
Thank you, Dylan. Christopher?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Ruth, for the question. For me personally, I see myself as someone who is very passionate in philanthropy. I would have stated earlier in my bio that I was former parish ambassador and also a member of Rotary. And those are things that I'm really, really passionate about, engaging young persons and finding solutions that can help them. And I think definitely the reason why I actually selected dynamic leadership and leadership development was to hone those skills because I'm really, really, really passionate about creating engagement for young persons and helping. So that is where I see my Toastmasters ability transferring those skills over to philanthropy. Back over to you, Mr. Chair.
Toastmaster Vashon.
Thank you very much for that question, Ruth. I see myself in the future in Toastmasters going around and spreading my story. I have a story, a personal story that I'd love to share with persons. However, before Toastmasters, I said to myself that, how would I get this story out? I think about writing a book, but I'm not so good at writing. But since Toastmasters, now I realize that I'm developing that speaking skill to give me the courage to go out and share my stories and motivate other persons. The thing is that I'm from a very, what I would say, humble or somewhat of a poor background. And to see me step out and to what I'm doing right now, I think that this story will help to motivate a lot of persons. And that is the way that is the reason why I'm in Toastmaster now, to develop that skill, to go around inner cities, communities, and to speak to persons, tell them, if I can do it, you can do it as well. And also, I see myself leading in voluntary organization in the fact that I know Toastmasters will help me to be an amazing leader. So in the future, through Toastmasters, I hope to be I'm looking to see myself as a distinguished Toastmaster and also a distinguished president in my Kiwanis club. I'm looking forward to that in the future, and I'm looking forward to bring a lot more engineers, a lot of males, and a lot more members along this journey with me. And everything that I've gotten from Toastmaster, I've posted on my LinkedIn, and trust me, I've been an ambassador and I'm getting people to come along and persons are coming along. And that is something that I really love because this is really a sweet, sweet development. And I want other persons to really get in on it and taste some of the sweetness and improve themselves and be better versions of themselves. So in the future, I hope to do that. And I know through Toastmasters, I will be able to get that done. Over to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, DTM Vashon. Speak it into existence, they say. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and friends. At this point, I know that everything has been so invigorating, so encouraging. The speeches, the comments, the questions, the feedback has done something to you. You need to ask yourself, now what can I do with the information and the motivation that I received this evening? Before we close, I'll ask each panelist to sum up or say what they want to say to you in 1 minute. DTM Delon, to, the last words, so we can bring this excellent panel discussion about how Toastmasters have changed my life. We're bringing it home. Your last 1 minute word to all the members watching, listening, and that will see this presentation in the future. DTM Delon.
Thank you again, Toastmaster Chair, Toastmasters and guests. Toastmasters has changed my life over the last 10 years, and I'm sure it can do the same for you. When persons ask me, how do you do it? How do you manage all that you're doing and still being able to complete your Toastmaster projects? I simply said, you have not truly lived until you've become a Toastmaster. It has trained us how to be prepared. It has trained us how to plan, and it has trained us how to execute. We are Toastmasters, and that's what we do. I look forward to sharing the journey even more with persons who are yet to decide. I hope that at the end of this evening, you will register, or you will just go ahead and just jump on your path. And for those existing Toastmasters, never give up. Never, ever give up. Continue to be a light onto the path of those persons who are still trying to find their way. Continue to mentor, continue to coach. Remember, it's not about you, it's about them. those who look up to you as your proteges. So Toastmasters, it has been a wonderful evening, and I do look forward to sharing even more with you whenever that time comes. I'm happy to serve. Toastmaster Chair.
Thank you, esteemed Delon. Toastmaster Christopher, going backwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. Toastmasters is indeed a great platform for learning. It has impacted my life tremendously in terms of leadership, communication, and public speaking. I really think now in the COVID-19 environment, it is so important to seek ways to continue to improve yourself, not only personally, but also for the job market. The competition is now going to be so much more intensified. As we continue,
what would be your favorite song? And could you give us?
Continue to need different skill sets. I encourage you to join Toastmasters. There are so many skills and competencies you can learn. How to do a podcast, how to write a blog, icebreakers, storytelling. There's moderating a panel discussion. So many skills, HPLs, so many ways that you can learn and become the best version of yourself. And what is the purpose of living? Purpose of living is to become the best version of yourself. God has given us all gifts and talents, and we should always wake up each day trying to be the best we can be, not only for ourselves, but to share with other persons, motivate and inspire. So, most welcome guests. I encourage you, I implore you, I beseech you, find a club today and make Toastmasters your learning platform. Back over to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Toastmaster Christopher. Toastmaster Vashon.
Thank you very much for that question, Mr. Chair. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, Toastmasters has done a lot for me, and I know it can do a lot for you as well. Over the past year, since embracing this journey, my overall life has changed. The way I see leadership, and other persons have seen that change. I know they have pushed me into leadership roles. They have pushed me into some various roles, and it's all because of Toastmasters. Toastmasters has become a part of me. A one shy guy, the one fear guy, that introvert. When persons hear me speak and hear me talk now, they wonder if I had a voice. But Toastmasters has allowed me to find that voice. And I want you all to just sign up and find your voice, because Toastmasters is the best way. It's one of the most rewarding investment you can make in yourself. And trust me, it is not expensive. It is not expensive as compared to a lot more communication courses out there. Toastmasters is a place where you find family, you find friends, and you find lifelong friends. And I found a lot in Toastmasters, persons who, if I have a keynote speech or I have a presentation, I can call on Toastmasters, Toastmaster Liz, Toastmaster Conrad, and now recently I found Toastmaster Roger far over there. We have become friends. I can call on him. So if you want to have that experience and want to develop yourself and want to be the best version of yourself, Toastmasters is the place. And I just encourage you all to just sign up and become a member. All that shyness and all that stuttering that I mentioned before, that was me then. That is history. This is me now. And it's all because of Toastmasters. And it can happen to you too. So go out, find a club, sign up, and reap the benefits. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vashon. I left the fact of introducing myself to this particular time for a reason. I'm Roger Hudson. I'm the area director for Area 16, Division C in Barbados, District 81 for those who don't know. And I have the opportunity to manage, run, coach, talk to 5 clubs within my area. These 5 clubs happen to be part of 13 clubs within Barbados. And they're part of a bigger family. But at this time, I would like to introduce to you any of the 5 clubs presidents who are here, just for 1 minute, for those persons who might be interested in contacting or, talking to someone, I will call on President Alicia first. Eastern Orators.
Thank you, Roger. I'm just making sure that you can hear me well.
We can hear you.
Okay, awesome.
We have all of the panelists still pinned, and yourself is small.
Okay, no problem. I will change that. As Roger would have just mentioned, I am Alicia Chandler, President of Eastern Orators Toastmasters Club. And let me just pin myself here, if I can get at it. Right. And our club meets every second and fourth Saturday at Princess Margaret Secondary School. Due to the COVID protocols, we meet one face-to-face meeting at the end of the month and one virtual meeting. So our next meeting will be virtual, and you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Eastern Orators Club, and our handles are Eastern Orators Toastmasters Club 246. You can find us on all of those platforms. And we also have our email address, easternorators@gmail.com, and contact number 243-9444. Thank you, Area Director.
I recognize Toastmaster Marsha. Are you still here? Armstrong from Let's Talk.
Hi, I'm here. You caught me off guard. Hi.
No problem. Yes, please. Tell us about Let's Talk. When you meet, contact, just for a minute. Anything you want to say? This is the VP, Vice President of Membership, Toastmasters Club.
No problem. As Roger said, I am Vice President Membership of Let's Talk. Every first and Roger, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, good. We meet every Saturday, first and third Saturday of the month. Until January, physically it will be at the Warren's office complex, what Barbadians refer to as the Barack building. And we're on the first floor in the lecture theater. Until December, we'll be meeting online via Zoom platform. And we begin at 3 p.m. and end at 5 p.m. every first and third Saturday. Let's Talk Toastmasters Club. It's a club originally formed for teachers, but we have a variety of professionals with us. And we have been a club for the past 13 years. So if you are willing to join Toastmasters at the end of this session, which I know most of you will be, please feel free to drop in by Warren's office complex, or I can insert our contact information in the chat, and you can feel free to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, TM Marsha. I recognize Yvonne Codrington, Toastmaster Yvonne, as your president is not here. So Yvonne Codrington, VPE, St. John.
Good night, and thank you. We meet at the St. John's Parish Church, one of the buildings there, every second and fourth Saturdays of the month. But right now we are just having the fourth Saturday meetings face to face. Otherwise we meet on Zoom on the second Saturday. What can I do?
Thank you, Toastmaster Yvonne. Anyone from Sunjet here?
Yes, good evening, Toastmaster Veronica Jones. We meet
We meet every Thursday at 6 o'clock on Zoom. We have not met physically since March, so our meetings are held via Zoom on Thursday evenings.
Very well.
If you want to, you can just contact our VPE, KM Cordis, for details of the meeting.
Great. Thank you, Toastmaster Veronica. Anyone from Dominion?
Good evening, Roger.
Thank you, Toastmaster Greg, BPPR.
Yes, Dominion Power Speakers meets on the first and third Monday at the St. Michael School. However, currently we are meeting via Zoom. We can be contacted via Instagram, just send us a direct message, or via email at dpstoastmastersclub@gmail.com. We do have a meeting tomorrow if anyone's interested in attending. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I've covered all of my clubs. Any other presidents visiting from other clubs or any clubs just want to identify themselves quickly? The floor is now open. Since
Good evening, good evening all. Thank you again. This is Hortensia Maduro from Barranca Toastmasters. I'm the president right now for this year. And remember, in May, we will have our conference, our first conference in Aruba. Okay, thank you all. Ayo.
Thank you. If there are no other...
Good evening, AD Roger Hudson. This is Margaret Bartholomew. I'm the AD for Area 31, Division F, which is Trinidad and Tobago, and I am a member of Winners Toastmasters Club. I am visiting you for the very first time, and I truly enjoyed this session, even though I came in too early, I think, and then I end up coming back in a little too late, so I missed some of the main speakers, but I thoroughly enjoyed the question and answer segment. It was my pleasure being here. So all the best to you guys. Back to you.
Thank you, AD Margaret. I would have messaged and said that you were 10 minutes earlier, but you had left. You were 10 minutes early and you had left before that.
I thought I was an hour early, actually.
Right, I figured that you thought so. Well, if there are no others, I would urge...
I'm sorry, Roger, you wanted? Yeah, I stepped away for a bit.
Yes, Liz, thank you. President of Dynamic Toastmasters Club in Jamaica. You can just introduce your club, say when you meet, etc.
Oh,
briefly.
okay. Okay, great. Thank you for that opportunity. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry. Okay, so thank you for having us. It's really was a great pleasure being here. We're from Dynamic Speakers Club in Jamaica, and we meet every second and fourth Saturday. And we do have on fifth Saturday, sometimes we do have meetings, and we have we do a lot of interclubbing as well, hence we're here all over the Caribbean, making our mark. And again, it was great being here. So thank you again, and fantastic job, Roger, and your Area 16 team.
Thank you, thank you. For those who might be visiting and they're Curtis.
Yes.
You were saying something?
Good night, Mr. Chair, AD Roger Hudson, Curtis Graves here, Sergeant at Arms at First Class Toastmasters. I didn't want to leave Toastmaster Chris here hanging by himself. So even though I'm just the Sergeant at Arms, the lowest ranking of some of the executive, newly elected, I wanted to just come on and give my support to firstly Toastmaster Chris, and then Toastmaster Delon and Toastmaster Vachon. I met Delon today, this year, as part of the Division Tech team. And I've been trying to keep in touch with everyone that I've met over the last couple of months. So fantastic job, guys. I really enjoyed the presentations. And I hope that this evening we're able to encourage any of our visitors to really join Toastmasters and to reap the rewards of this club. So thank you very much, Toastmaster Hudson. Fantastic job on hosting an event like this.
Thank you, Toastmaster Curtis. Now, anyone else who were invited here by someone, you can feel free to get back to that person and tell them that you're interested and you want to know more, or you want to visit a club if none of the clubs here are within your times. And other than that, toastmasters.org. Click on find a club, put in your location, and you see a list of all the clubs and their proximity to you and where they meet, what times they meet, and where they meet. Again, I thank the panelists for taking their time out of their so busy schedule to fly down to Barbados to participate in how Toastmasters have changed their life and share with all of you. You can stay on after we close this meeting to have talk, mingle, ask more questions if you so choose. And I'll also like to thank Alicia in the background and my district council, who some are here, who have worked with me throughout this Toastmasters month that just passed. And this is the start, as I see it, the midpoint for us in Area 16 as we move forward to the second half of the year and we work on membership and the members. Thank you again for joining us. And remember, our theme for this year, this is who we are. And I end with that little song. And after the song, feel free to stay on and mingle with us, share some more questions, ask, find out more, etc.
Shines in our hearts. it doesn't matter. We've been tested before. Out victorious we came.
What we know for sure, we will rise again.
Together, better, stronger.
When the world closed, our hearts opened. When fear ruled, love also deepened. When borders closed, boundaries widened.
With no choice, in one voice.
Let the whole world rejoice, from near and from far. This is who we are. Yeah. 'Cause this is who we are. Yeah. 'Cause this is who we are.
Together. Love will always see us through. This is who we are.
Yes, this is who we are. Let's see, I saw my division director earlier. I think she's gone. But thank you all again. Feel free to chat and ask questions. We have persons from all over. You, I guess, have the platform for another. You can stop the recording, Alicia.